Hello everyone, my name is Sumana Moitra, and in today's video I'll be talking about something which is very important right now and the need of the hour. That's the coronavirus, right? I'll be talking about the global impact of coronavirus, how it has impact on the economy globally and India per se. It's very important to understand this because currently I live in London, and the situation is worse over here. Like we have, if I talk about UK, Europe is affected very badly. There's Italy, which is the most affected. Then there's Spain. France is affected quite a bit because there are a lot of travelers who've gone back to India and other countries from France, and they've been detected and they have been infected. So it's pretty bad. The situation is really bad, so everything is shut down. I live in London, and in UK we have about 2,700 plus cases, and in London itself we have about 623 plus people who are infected, which is really bad, and the numbers are just increasing. And yeah, it's been bad. So today I went to the supermarket and everything is empty, nothing is available. um, Nothing is available even online, everything is out of stock, so it's really bad. So forget hand sanitizers, forget hand wash, we're not even getting normal daily grocery stuff. It's really bad over here. So the situation is pretty bad outside India, and when I talk about India, it's not worse because they've taken precautionary measures. The government is really doing a superb job doing that. Because when I heard, like, if I heard people talking, even the UK airports, they're not taking that much of a precautionary measure which they are supposed to. But then if you go to India and you look at the airport, there's a lot of precautionary measures taken, so that's really nice. And it's very important for India because we if the situation gets worse, they don't have the bandwidth to sort of manage that. So it's very important that it's already people are already taking precautionary measures. So if you see coronavirus, globally it has affected 2 lakh plus people. That's quite a number. And we have had 7,000 plus deaths already globally. And if you talk about India, there have been 3 deaths so far because of coronavirus. And already global economy wasn't doing that great. It was already bad, and this is like worse. It got the worst out of everything. The hospitality industry, the aviation industry, the tourism industry, they're all affected so badly because obviously visas are restricted, the travel is completely banned, you cannot travel anywhere. So obviously, what will they do? It's actually they probably might go through a recession, you never know, but they are in a very bad state right now. And we should just hope for the best, that something better happens in due course of time, right? Even if you see schools and colleges in London, just starting to shut down. I think in India, most of the companies are working from home, and I think the schools are all shut, and people are switching to digital teaching, which is great because thankfully it's the proper utilization of the digital era, which is good, and which is sort of still helping people, and they're not really affecting their studies and their academics, which is great. And if you talk about China, China is affected very badly because it obviously started off in China and Wuhan. And China has decided that they're going to invest $10 billion to sort of contain coronavirus. And they're taking precautionary measures because a lot of businesses in China have been shut down because they don't know how long it's going to be there. So people are fired, businesses are shut. The situation is very bad in China. And according to the S&P global rankings, China was supposed to grow at the rate of 5.7% this year 2020, but they predicted that it's reduced, and now they'll grow by 5%, which is significantly reduced, but it's really bad news for China. And There are also other countries in Asia which are affected, obviously the neighboring countries. If you see, South Korea and Japan are a lot affected. India is still not affected, more because again because of the precautionary measures which are being taken. And the other countries which are affected are again Hong Kong, you have Thailand, you have Philippines, Malaysia. These are other countries which are affected because of corona, like the top countries which are affected um, in Asia for like people getting infected with coronavirus, which is very bad. Now, how has it impacted India? We have about 125 plus cases of people infected with coronavirus, like showing symptoms of coronavirus, and they're being taken to hospitals, sort of isolated and quarantine. And India has had 3 deaths so far. So they're saying that India is currently on the stage 2 of this, the spread of the pandemic, which is not too bad news for India, because we can still work and take precautionary measures. That's why it's so much of isolation and people are restricted and asked to stay at home. Also because the population is worst in India, and the spread can be like wildfire. So they're saying that if we do what we are following right now, within the next 1 or 2 months, the situation could get better, and it'll be hopefully better, because it's affecting everybody. And people are not able to go to jobs, like work from home. It doesn't work out all the time. So yeah, it's happening. And this is considered as a disaster in India. It's declared as a disaster, and the Home Ministry has said that this is considered as a notified disaster. That means you can take precautionary measures against it, or sort of can do something, control it, and control the spread of the disease, which is the main problem here. The main problem is the spread of the infection, and that can be controlled by taking necessary precautionary measures. So you have the state disaster relief funds who are actually working for this to control the pandemic, which is pretty good, and the government is doing a lot. And it's really good on their part to sort of foresee so many things and do it. And when it comes to precautions, as all of you all know, that social distancing is the main thing. Don't go to crowded places. As much as I want to go and hang out in a mall and sort of chill, I know you all also want to do the same, but then sort of avoid doing that unless it's an emergency or it's really important. Avoid social gatherings, any sort of marriages, functions, going on movies, like sort of going and attending parties. Rather not do that at this point in time. And sanitize. Make the I have heard sanitize yourself. I also see that the public places are also getting sanitized. Those are the precautionary measures the government is taking, like the buses, the public transport places where you travel, the hotels, the restaurants. They're all sanitized after every use. Every like in a day, like all the time, they're sort of seeing that after people just walk out, come in, sort of sanitizing the public places, which is very important right now. Sanitize yourself. There are different ways. These days I see a lot of videos people post, celebrities post of how the WHO recommends how to actually wash your hands, and it's a very nice video. It's a very simple one, but then it's yet very useful, and you will know the right way how to wash your hands, because sometimes you wash it but still there must be, you don't wash it really well, and probably it's not enough, and the virus can still be there. So it's very important to wash the right way, and please watch those videos which are on Instagram and maybe YouTube, and you can just get them. Sort of do that, because it's very important to take care of yourself. Sanitize, wash your hands properly. Even if you don't use sanitizers always, I prefer like washing my hand with a hand wash or soap, because that's equally good. And yeah, it's very important to do that. And if somebody around you is showing the symptoms of corona, or somebody who's already infected, they are kept in isolation wards in hospitals, even in hotels. If somebody is showing symptoms, they're sort of kept in isolation, which is very important because that avoids the spread of the infection if in case you have an infection in the first place. So that's very important. When it comes to education, again, a lot of exams, everything is getting postponed. That's just not in India, it's globally, it's happening everywhere. Like all the schools are shut down. When you talk about colleges, even MBA colleges, they're all postponing the events. So at this point of the year, you always have the convocations and a lot of events, year-end events which happen. All of them are postponed. Even all the IMs have actually postponed their convocation events because of corona spread. Because again, it's a crowded event which could, and there could be a lot of chances wherein you get this transmission to happen. So sort of avoid that. Yeah, these are the precautionary measures they're taking. And you in the student exchange programs which happen in your post-grad colleges, those are getting restricted and shut. We're not even getting professors from abroad, like which happens in most of your MBA schools, wherein you have external faculty coming in. So that's not from a different country, from NCR, Kellogg's, Wharton. They do come and teach, but everything is shut for now. Nobody is allowed to come and do that, and even the travel is restricted for everybody. So it sort of creates a lot of impact in a lot of ways. It has a negative impact definitely on the economy already. The industries like the mobile handset industry, the automobile industry, pharma industry, all of them are affected because major supplies are now clocked from China, and which becomes very difficult for them. The other day I was talking to my dad. He was like, the automobile sector was already down and it just was getting better, and then he says that now again because of corona and because they're not getting the supplies from China, which is again causing a lot of damage to the automobile sector, and which is in turn is also affecting the economy of the country, because a lot of sectors are affected because of this. And of the banking sector, the insurance sector, and IT probably is a little safe from this because it's not directly affecting them. But yes, it's affecting a lot of industries, and in the future it's definitely going to it's already affected the economy, and it could get really worse in course of time. So if you see overall in the world globally, so if you see China, it contributes 12% to the global GDP, and now at this rate, if China is suffering so much, just imagine what's going to happen globally. The impact of corona on the economy is it's huge. So we can just go into a recession anytime if this continues, and this is very bad news for everyone. So if you see the crude oil prices, it's actually reduced now by 20% because of this. But then again, it's not beneficial for the long run, because India itself is not immune against this coronavirus, and if it's very important for India to sort of take precautionary measures and work towards how they can actually build on their economy, because um, uh, we have to work on the price, because most of the products what India should now concentrate on exports, because that's where it can work out now, like concentrating on maximizing the exports what India has, and sort of increasing that, and working towards that. If you see investors, who actually invest, they were because they're not very keen, because they don't know whether it can have an impact in India as well. So they're not really at currently India is immune to that, to corona and the disaster of um, what that can have. But still, people are really in the long run this can happen, so India has to take precautionary measures for it. And if you talk about China is like the manufacturing hub, right? Like how can you it has all the manufacturing happens in China, and that's why other countries and other people suffer because of it, because obviously they can't get stuff from China if China itself is not able to produce anything. And what we could do is positively, if you look at this state, because everything is so negative. One thing is like concentrate. India can concentrate on the exports. India can actually, like uh, start manufacturing things. And there are a lot of, because China is suffering, it said, a lot of economists say that investors are now concentrating on these emerging economies like India, Vietnam, Bangladesh. And then they sort of, it's good news for India. That's what the economists say. But let's see how it goes. So that's one good part of it. Second thing is obviously concentrate on manufacturing, which will also help India in a great significant way. And just like what Vietnam does, they started manufacturing electronic goods, and then it worked out for them. And we should do the same, and also believe in exporting more, because that's the need of the hour, and that will help India build and on its economy in the short run as well as the long run as well. So there are a lot of issues like these Brexit, um, the political issues which is happening around the world, which was already affecting the economy, and now this really Corona has escalated this a lot more. Um, Even if by 10% the number of deaths increase now globally, the stock market value is going to reduce by 10%. So just imagine how much people are getting affected. The investors are losing money, so it's a big deal right now. So yeah, so it's all in there. And the best way possible to work on our economy, and sort of India has to really concentrate on the things which I've told, like the exports, the manufacturing, and also let's see if the situation improves, how investors could actually sort of invest in India. As of now, we cannot do much. All we could do is just quarantine ourselves and self quarantine, and just wait for the best thing to happen. But if you're at home, don't stop working. Keep doing your job, and have the same dedication as what you do in at work and office, because it's the same thing. And it's important to limit yourself with the number of people you meet, and take care of yourself, because safety comes first. Okay, thank you so much for watching my video. If you like my videos, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel on YouTube. I will probably come up with more such videos, and in my next sessions I'll talk about my managerial subjects more. Okay, so thank you and have a nice day.